So you want to see what's inside this magical box? Let's do it. It's water machine time. And inside of here are those filters that work just as good as a Berkey. In order to get them to work, we gotta prime them. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna prime those things. But before we do that, we've gotta clean out our water machine. Here we go. Okay, so now unfortunately, in order to prime the filters that are in this box, let me go and take one out for you. You have to use this priming spacer, put it underneath your spigot, and hold it there until it starts to drip water. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a standard spigot, so I'm going to have to make a quick change. Make sure that I have cold water running through it. That's cold. Place the spacer on top of the tip of the filter. And this is according to the instructions. The general idea is that you can put pressure through it that way. And then we're going to hold that on there. It's going to be a little bit more difficult for me. I'll probably have to do it a little bit different because it's going to spray. You just put a little bit of water, not a lot of pressure. And then what we want to do, I can actually feel it in my hands starting to fill up. It's almost like a vibrating feel. And then you want to do this, starting to get pressure. And we're going to change that just a little bit more so we don't break the filters. There we go. And you do this until the filter starts to like sweat. See how it's sweating like that? I can actually feel warm air on my left side, left hand, but on the right side it's cold. So now this filter is primed. I'm going to take it off. I'm just going to set it to the side here. Then I'm going to do the same thing with the other filter. And you'll be able to see, once it gets enough pressure, I can actually feel it in my left hand here. Hopefully you guys are seeing this. Yeah, that looks good. And then you'll see it'll get to a certain pressure, and then it'll start to sweat. And there it comes. There we go. You can see some of that black coming out of the bottom of it just like it's supposed to. And now she's 100% primed. And yeah. Let's see if there's a time limit on it. Let's reread the instructions, but I think I'm good. Nope. 5 seconds is all it takes. So now we're going to do a quick cutscene because I have to move something in order to make this all right for you guys. Here we go. So what I've done is I've removed the bottom section and the lid so that you can actually see the installation process. We don't need this rubber anymore. And then we just loosen up this bad boy right here. The rubber seal that is on this filter stays close to the filter when you put it in. So we're going to have the lug or the nut on the outside. I'm going to gently put that in there and slip it through the hole. I'm going to screw it down just barely hand tight because it doesn't really need a lot. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the second filter. And then I'm going to put everything back. I'm going to go ahead and return all the pieces to their place, and yeah, here we go. Okay, so now everything's ready to assemble. We've got the bottom with all of its rings. The valve is closed. I'm probably going to open the valve just to let air out as the filter starts to work. I don't think it's necessary, but I am putting it over the sink just to do it. I'm going to leave it open, and then I'm going to go ahead and set this on top of it. Now the filters are in place, ready to go. Everything has been rinsed out. We're going to leave the top off of it right now because it's just going to be easier to fill that way. Now, I'm lucky I've got one of these spigots right here. I should probably put this back together. Hold on. Perfect. All right, so now I can actually just get the cold water going through it. I don't even have to do that. I'm just going to run this hose out all the way down here. Obviously, you would have to fill it up a different way if you don't have this type of sink. So you're ready to go. Let's start putting some water in it. As you can see, it's immediately starting to drip and filter the water. Now here on the side is actually the top fill line, or do not go over fill line. We're just going to stop right underneath that when it gets to that point. And you can see, hopefully you guys can see that there's a lot of water starting to come through it already. All right, and then she's full. Now I'm sure David, the owner of the company, the president, the CEO, the guy who dreamt this whole thing up, will probably want to tell me to close that valve. But David, I'm going to do a little applied physics today, and it's called void versus vacuum. So by leaving this valve open just to let some air out, it actually helps with the process of moving the water from the void into a vacuum. If I'd closed this with the rubber seal, we might have a small vacuum, nothing serious. Probably doesn't even affect it, but I really wanted to get the flow of the filter started. Once I see a little bit more water here on the bottom, I'm going to close the valve, and then we're going to let it go. And I guess I can put the top on it just so it looks better. Ta-da! All right, guys, so I think there's enough water in there. We're going to go ahead and close the valve. And what we're going to do now is we're going to time and see how long it takes to filter this amount of water down into this. We'll do a little bit of time lapse, and then we'll come right back when we're done. I wanted to show you something. The filter, that is the left filter, has almost all of its air out of it now, and it is flowing freely. It is doing a really good job. The filter that still has a little bit of air down in the bottom of it, or the top for you, is actually dripping. So basically, the more water you get into this filter, without blowing it out obviously, the more water you get into it, the faster it's going to start to flow. And that's also one of the things I wanted to show you guys. People keep buying these cheap filters and the flow rate is awful. That's not a problem with the water machine and the filters that come with it. You can also buy replacement filters that will do the job for you just fine, because those are the same ones. Let's get back to the time lapse. All right, the last thing you want to do is dump out this water, refill this, and you're good to go. If you want to purchase one of these, I'll leave a link in the description box below. Definitely recommend you checking them out. I'd also like to hear some of your questions and comments down below. Let me know what you think. I'll definitely answer you within 24 hours. Maybe it's time you upped your water game. I know this is a game changer for me. Definitely. Thanks for watching, and I hope you decide to support the page. If you like what I'm doing, go ahead and hit the link below. If it didn't take you directly to it, you can just hit the support page. That's what it should look like. All you have to do is either hit the Patreon symbol or the join button. Doesn't matter. Just hit it and that'll get you started. It's $3 a month for 30-ish days of work from me. The price of a Starbucks coffee. So until the next time, stay safe, have a great day, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye-bye.